Hello and welcome to the MLTI podcast, Teaching with Tech. My name is Chris Beckwith.
And I'm Donna Netzer, and we're going to be your hosts for this April episode. The focus of this episode is going to be the MLTI Student Conference at the University of Maine in Orono on May 23rd. We hope that you're planning to attend either with students and or as a presenter.
Even if you've never experienced the MLTI Student Conference before, we're hoping to energize you with teasers of some of the sessions we have planned. We'll also be sharing some helpful tips to make the arrival process and your day in general go as smoothly as possible.
Hi, everybody. I'm Jon Graham. I'm the Digital Learning Specialist at the Maine DOE on the Learning Through Technology team, and I have been going to the MLTI student conferences since 2011 when I was working in RSU4 and our district had the very first student keynote speaker at the MLTI student conference. So we had a big contingency going that year, and you can actually see he did a video for us, Matt Jones. If you look on the MLTI YouTube channel, Matt did a little recording a couple years ago giving an update on all the things that he's done.
So, Jon, thinking about the different conferences that we've had, and you've been doing these for quite some time, like from an overview of all these conferences, what's this big picture of what the conferences are, where they've come from, and that sort of thing?
So MLTI obviously started, over 20 years ago, and pretty early on, I think it was just kind of apparent when they had all these devices and not enough tech support people. A lot of schools started including students in that model of tech support and helping in the classroom and stuff like that. And out of that, there was the idea of let's have an event and bring all of these, what were called I-teams at the time. Let's bring these together. And so they came together starting in 2003, so really early on. And they did that for a few years. They did some in Southern Maine and some at Orono. And then by 2011, I think they really hit on the model that they liked. And that, pretty much 2011 to 2019 was largely, I think when people would think of what is the MLTI Student Conference, that's what they would think of. So going to the conference, the day usually opened up with a keynote speaker. Over that span of time, they had student speakers. So they would recruit usually high school students, sometimes middle school students that would kind of talk about how they've been leveraging technology to do something cool. Then from there to, go to do breakout sessions, go to lunch, which is always a highlight of the day for middle schoolers. And then coming back to the Collins Center for what was called an Uber session. And in the days before Uber, as we now think of Uber, the idea was that it was this really large scale, everybody working together to do something cool. So usually it was definitely a process to design whatever the program was that they were all getting on and being part of. But there were several music ones. There were a few art ones. I feel like the one that people who went for a number of years, the one that they remember best was there was a Minecraft one that was kind of based on Don Fenler's book, Lost on a Mountain in Maine, had been made into a graphic novel. And that was, I think really cool and memorable for a lot of people. So the conference for a number of years, had this really fantastic formula, pretty much, had over 1,000 students every year, always had robust sessions, a lot of variety and really cool things happening. And I think many aspects of MLTI, people just kind of fell in love with that part of the program, getting the t-shirts. I still see MLTI t-shirts around, around the state that you'll see people wearing how many ever years later, depending on the age of the t-shirt. And I know I have a drawer full of many, many of them.
Thank you so much.
Hi, everyone. I'm Emma Banks. I am the coordinator of Learning Through Technology at the Maine Department of Education, and I oversee the MLTI program.
Emma, what kind of hopes do you have for the MLTI conference, or what do you see as its vision?
The MLTI conference is a long-standing event, so it has a lengthy history, which has been shared a little bit here. But my hopes really are that students will get a spark of some kind if they didn't have one for technology, or that it might ignite something that has kind of already been started for them. There's a lot of variety at the conference, so students get exposed to all sorts of different technology as well as computer science, and there's some even like career connections that happen there. So it's really just kind of growing that interest in technology that our students are already fostering in their everyday school environments. I think that would be like my number one goal.
So if someone, like, what are your tips and tricks for how do you get the most out of the student conference?
That's an excellent question. I think really asking questions is an excellent way to go about things. Our sessions are designed to have that baked in work time for our students. So making sure that if you, as a student or a teacher have questions about the material that you're learning, asking those and exploring what interests you most about what it is that you're engaging with. I think another tip would just be really looking at what sessions we offer. There's a huge variety in sessions that we offer. So making sure that what you are most interested in is what you sign up for. That will also help to make sure that you have the best day.
Anything else you want to share with the inner workings of the day?
Yeah, I mean, this is really an event about bringing students and teachers who have a shared interest together. So really taking that time to engage with others that you may not know, that will help to really create an awesome and dynamic day. I think things to keep in mind are that there's quite a bit of walking on campus, and so making sure that you're prepared for that. We did have one year where it rained a little bit, so thinking about the elements that you might encounter as you go along your day. It moves quickly. You'll blink and then the day will be over. So try to take it all in the best you can.
Awesome. Thank you, Emma.
I'm Jonathan Werner, the Ambassador Program Facilitator for MLTI.
So any kind of tips or anything when you are thinking about the conference?
One of the things you'll find that's really amazing about the in-person conference is that the facilities at UMO are remarkable. And we really encourage students and their teachers to travel all over campus. We have the good fortune of having it be reserved for us because school's already out of session, and we are welcome to enter any open buildings. We'll have a really cool scavenger hunt going that will allow you to travel around campus and encourage you to do that. But don't hesitate to poke your head in and take a look at all the really beautiful spaces that are there. Really great opportunity to see things you might not otherwise have a chance to see during school session. And also a great opportunity to start conversations with students about what college looks like and how it's different or what's unique about a collegiate experience, and specifically the incredible resources available at UMO.
So I think that leads me to the idea of what do you feel that this experience, not just the conference itself, but kind of gives to students and their teachers and chaperones?
I think the structure is intended to offer a lot of choice, but also a real project-based exploration. And so we're hoping that people come back with what feels like a set of skills as opposed to a specific set of information or field or fund of information. And that really the goal is to leave feeling more capable and more competent at utilizing tech in lots of different ways, not just specifically the way that you might be experiencing in your particular session. Another really great opportunity is to talk on your traveling back with people that have been in other sessions about what they've explored. I think one of the things that can happen at any conference is you leave and you think, okay, well, I'm done. Now I'm going back to regular life. And those conversations on the way back home can really be a great chance to begin to bounce ideas off of one another and get a sense of how your work can expand and grow as you interact with some of the other skills people have learned.
So as the ambassador facilitator, what are your hopes as far as how the ambassadors can support after the introduction or building of skills at the conference?
We're hoping that before you leave, you have connected yourself with one of the people from state of Maine. They'll be at the registration tables and they can direct you to someone who may be able to help you out further. But the purpose of the ambassador program is to really expand on teacher tech integration in any ways that are valuable to you. So if you encounter something that really feels exciting, but you want some more support with it later on, or you feel as though something you've begun to understand might be the beginning of something really fantastic, but you're going to need some more time to explore that. The purpose of our ambassador support is to do exactly that.
Great. So it sounds like, from what I'm hearing from you, to use one of our common phrases in the ambassador program, this conference is this conference, and there's more to it. There's more resources, there's more support. And so taking advantage of all of those pieces and getting the most out of this experience, even beyond that day, is very important. Anything else you would like to add?
I think another goal for students over the course of the day is to realize that Maine is a lot more diverse and unique than your one corner of the state. And we really hope you'll take advantage, especially during the sessions themselves and during lunch, to connect with some of those other schools. You'll get a chance to meet all kinds of presenters from all over the state, but really taking advantage of the connection to reach out to other schools, develop those partnerships with them. We've had a number of lasting partnerships begin at the student conference, and another aspect of how it can be a launching point, can be the beginning of your relationships with other schools, whether close by or hopefully further afield. One of our greatest recent opportunities that emerged was a partnership between a school in Washington County and a school in Cumberland County that, when they connected virtually, discovered they had a lot more in common than they realized. And that, to me, feels like the ultimate goal of the conference, to make this gigantic state feel a little bit smaller as you develop relationships with specific people and with people like you from every corner of the state.
And just to reiterate that point, that was my entry point into MLTI. And as an ambassador now, I am very grateful for those years of going to those student conferences and being a part of it and seeing it really shape my career. So thank you for your time, Jonathan.
Thanks for having me.
So I also was able to get some information from our project manager, Bethany Billinger, and she just wanted to give some helpful tips and suggestions for the actual day. So everything will start at the Collins Center for the Arts at the University of Maine campus. There's plenty of parking in front of the building. All the buses can park there. As you enter, stop, and there'll be a registration table. That's where you'll get your badges and maps. And once registered there in the Collins Center for the Arts lobby, you will meet a member of the team who can assist you to locate your boxes of your conference swag, such as your t-shirts. And there are going to be more t-shirts this year. So if you have a different size t-shirt need, you can go and exchange. If you're part of a large group, you probably should have a couple of people to get your boxes. There are bathrooms that are located on the right side as you enter the building. There are going to be some refreshments. You can go to the cafe on the left side of the lobby, and you don't bring any drinks into the auditorium. So we just ask that you eat in the cafe or out there in the lobby if you do get a snack. And try to move to the auditorium as quickly as possible, because we want to make sure that there's lots of room for people to come in and get what they need and move through. There's going to be an information table set right up in that lobby. So if there's any problems with scheduling or media releases, questions about the day, you can always come to that information table.
Donna, you've attended the in-person conference at the University of Maine in Orono in the past before you were an ambassador. What are you looking forward to this year? Do you have any advice for teachers preparing to bring students to this conference?
So, yes, I am an ambassador this year, and I'm very much looking forward to presenting. I had not done that as a teacher. I'm also looking forward to the fact that another person from our school is bringing some students, and I have 5 of my tech students who are going to get to come. And I guess my advice as far as coming with students would be make sure that you've printed off schedules, you have access to those, or at least on your phone, and that you take advantage of any kind of outside of session activities that are going on. I know, for instance, last year we did a scavenger hunt and it was an absolute blast, and getting to know other schools. So take the time for your kids to experience what it's like to be around other kids who love tech, and just get involved throughout the day as much as you can.
I totally agree. The community effect of this whole event, where the schools get to interact with each other, I think is one of the best parts. I know the students love that. The variety of the workshops is always amazing. And I agree that the more you can prepare in advance, the better the whole day is going to go. As far as having a way to communicate with your students during the day, students don't always have their own cell phones, but some method of back channel chat or something that you can use so that you are staying in touch with your students as they may be scattered in different groups throughout the day, even though they will be with their own chaperones, is an important part of it too.
I always found too that making sure things were labeled, because if we forgot a laptop or if we forgot something, it was a easy find if we had our stuff labeled, and checked with students to make sure they had everything as they were moving throughout the campus, because it is a big campus and it can be a long haul to find the things that you're looking for. So since I haven't presented at the conference prior to this year, because I was our school chaperone, from your perspective, what should someone expect coming as a non-MLTI presenter? And what kind of tips would you give to someone who's presenting for the first time?
That is a great question. I would make sure that as a presenter, you do not have to worry about where your students are as well. If you can have enough chaperones with you, if you have come with students, to make sure that all you have to worry about is presenting, so that you can maybe get to your room a little early and check it out and see how things are going to play out and connect in there, as opposed to staying back with a group of students and just getting there at the last minute when students are. That can make a huge difference. So as a presenter, allow yourself some time, check out your room, make sure that you can connect to the equipment that is in there, bring any possible dongle and adapter that you can imagine needing, make sure you've got your charging cables, and then just expect that the students that are attending your session will not have what they need, and anticipate that despite preparations, they may have difficulties preparing their devices for what you have in store. So plan that into your time, have some backup plans, be ready to move forward with alternative plans for students that aren't able to do exactly what you had planned.
Those are some great tips. I know that I'm going to be thinking about a lot of those things as I go into presenting this year.
And now we have some teasers for you. These are just a sample of the outstanding offerings at this year's conference.
I'm Donna Netzer. I'm an MLTI ambassador through the state of Maine, and I'm going to be presenting on student leadership in tech. I like to call them techsperts, but I want to help you create a tech team in your school and harness the power of our students to help our school, our teachers, our classrooms in all of our technology.
Hi, I'm AJ Rugg, a Year 1 ambassador. My student conference session is called SketchUp Cabin Masters Edition. Do you love watching building and design shows? If so, come join me as we use Google SketchUp to create your own dream cabin in this fun 3D design program.
My name is Jeff Ireland, and I am an MLTI ambassador. My session at the MLTI Student Conference on May 23rd will be all about using cell phones and iPads for outdoor photography as a means of self-expression. We'll be outside on the UMaine campus looking to take unique pictures that can capture and communicate so much. Hope to see you there.
I'm Gwyneth McGuire, an MLTI ambassador. Join my session at the MLTI Student Conference if you're interested in animation. We'll explore digital animation tools that will allow you to plan, design, and create an animated campfire story. that could include graphics, perhaps photos, video, and even audio. You get to choose the creation tool, so it's something that you're sure to enjoy. Hope to see you there.
Hello, my name is Jon Graham, Digital Learning Specialist at the Maine DOE, and my session is titled Build Camp MLTI in the Bloxels Game Engine. In this session, students will be provided with a Bloxels account and learn all of the basics to build a simple top-down type game in the Bloxels Game Engine, and they will leave being able to have their own cool game to share with their peers.
I'm Jonathan Werner. I'm the Ambassador Program Facilitator, and I'll be offering a session called A Picture is Worth 1,000 Numbers, where we'll use data to create really beautiful infographics that allow you to represent all kinds of information in ways that are much more appealing and understandable to your audiences.
Hi, this is Tracy Williamson, and I'll be running a session called Top Chef MLTI. We're going to use your creative ideas and Canva to create a 3-course menu for an outdoor kitchen using all Maine ingredients. Once your menu is designed, we'll share and vote on the most creative main menu. At the end of the day, we'll see who will be crowned Top Chef MLTI.
I'm Chris Beckwith, first-year ambassador. For my conference session, I'm going to share the online board game making platform called Tabletopia. We used it for this year's virtual student conference, and I think students and teachers will be excited to see how it can be used for fun and learning in their own classes.
My name is Joshua Schmidt from the MLTI Ambassador team, and my session this year at the MLTI Student Conference is on pixel art using Google Sheets. Students will learn the basics of Google Sheets and conditional formatting to create their own retro-style art.
Hello, my name's Yu Hong Sun. I'm a second-year ambassador. Please join me for a hands-on session to unlock your creative potential using green screen technology. This journey is not just about learning to create videos. It is about opening doors to countless stories and possibilities with green screen. It is so easy being green.
I'm Nicole K-Rod. Lace up your hiking boots and grab your explorer's hat. Let's learn about artificial intelligence and how a machine learns. In this session, we will look at using AI ethically, check out how a machine learns, and then create AI-generated images.
Well then, if that doesn't get you fired up for the student conference on the 23rd, I don't know what would. We have an exciting lineup planned, and we hope that this episode leaves you feeling enthusiastic and prepared for what is shaping up to be another amazing MLTI event.
If you still have any questions about the conference or are curious how the team can support you, don't hesitate to reach out. Contact MLTI and the LTT teams at the Maine Department of Education by emailing us at doe-ltt@maine.gov.
And so today we are going to close with this consolation. If you happen to miss the recent eclipse over Maine, don't worry. You have plenty of time to prepare for the next one over Maine in May of 2079.
Oh goodness, Chris. Class dismissed.